What's up, y'all? Today is the Alperen Sengun build. I just watched NBA opening night last night. I had to come make this build. This is based on his game yesterday because last night he had like 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, some crazy stats like that. I needed to make an LP build in 2K26, and this is the build that's actually going to be. So it's a center, 6'11", 243 pounds, and 7'1" wingspan. Those are his exact measurements. I always try and use the closest measurements to the actual player when I'm making these NBA player builds, and I do want to just preface everything by saying this is not going to be completely accurate to Alperen Sengun. It's just it uses his strengths and makes sure they're good, and some of his weaknesses are a little bit better as well, because I want to make sure that in 2K this build is viable to use on the park, on the rec, anywhere you're playing with this build. So obviously you can see the attributes here. We're going straight into all of the attributes listed, and I'm going to explain every single one starting from right now. 88 close shot is super solid. You're going to get silver paint prodigy, gold hook specialist along with the post control we have, and as well as gold float game. This build is going to be a menace in floaters, which Alp is really good at shooting. He's a great finisher around the paint. He shoots a little post like push shot that goes in all the time. It's just so pure for him. So having an 88 close shot will make sure you're going to be able to hit those shots. You can also use cap breakers on this if you did want to do so. 90 driving layup. The reason we have it at 90 specifically is to make sure we get the gold physical finisher. Alp is one of the most physical finishers in the league. You're also going to get silver layup mix master, and this also gives you the gold float game. It ties close shot or driving layup at an 88 gives you the float game. So having this at a 90 gives you gold float game as well as the 88 close shot. So they tie together to make sure the floaters that you shoot are going to be so easy to finish. Driving dunk at a 75 is going to get you the bronze posterizer. This actually unlocks a 73, but the 75 driving dunk actually unlocks a couple different animations that are going to be better than just what you would get at a 73 driving dunk. It's also a pretty cheap attribute. I did want to make sure we got a decent driving dunk because Alp is kind of dunking on people sometimes, which is insane to think about, but you will get the pro big man contact dunks with the 81 standing dunk as well as 75 driving dunk, so you can drive and dunk and as well as standing dunk pretty easily. You'll be able to have some contact dunks, and Alp has random posterizer dunks that are insane, so I did kind of want to make this driving dunk higher, but there's other things on the build I didn't want to sacrifice. So I already mentioned the 81 standing dunk. The reason it's at 81 instead of 80 is just to get the silver rise up badge, as you can see there at the bottom. Now we have a 90 post control at the bottom. 90 post control isn't unlocking anything specifically at a 90, but the reason I have it at 90 is because it's so valuable to have a high post control on an LP build. I wanted to make sure that you have potential to increase the post control even higher if you did want to do that. This ties to all your post up badges, including post up poet on gold, hook specialist, post fade phenom, all on gold. You're gonna have silver and pluckable as well with the bronze post powerhouse, which is very solid badges all around. If you did want to use cap breakers on strength, you can get your post powerhouse up to silver, which is definitely an LP badge, but I didn't really go a bunch of strength on this build because strength is kind of an attribute that doesn't really matter as much as you think this year. A lot of people say it matters a bunch. In my personal experience, I have 4 different builds that I play with. The ones with strength don't play any differently from the ones that don't have any strength. So I don't know if it's something just that I'm doing, but I don't really like strength as a super invested into attribute this year. I think you can get a bunch of other better attributes from lowering your strength down a bit because it's very expensive. Now the reason we have an 80 mid-range here is to make sure we get the gold post fade phenom. That's the only reason we have that there. 83 3-pointer unlocks your bronze limitless range, and what I'm going to recommend on this build is using your shooting specialization. Now the crazy thing on this build is one cap breaker on your 3-pointer brings it up to an 87. It's a +4 on your first cap breaker to get up to 87. That cap breaker will unlock silver deadeye and silver shifty shooter. You're going to be knocking down shots on this LP build. I would actually recommend using cap breakers on your mid-range shot as well. There's not a bunch of cap breaker potential on this build, but if you cap breakered your mid-range up all the way to a 90, you're going to get up to gold set shot specialist, which is going to be super nice on the build. And then also getting your mid-range up to a 90 will allow you to get the Hall of Fame post fade phenom. So you're going to get gold set shot specialist and Hall of Fame post fade phenom with the cap breakers on this build. Choose shooting specialization, use your 2 shooting cap breakers, 1 on 3-pointer and the rest on mid-range, and use your actual cap breakers on mid-ranges too. It's very worth it. 74 free throw is a bit low. I would recommend cap breakering this as well because there's not many other options to cap breaker on the build. So 74 free throw is a little bit low. You're definitely going to be able to hit shots as long as you're timing your free throw correctly, but it's definitely a little bit easier if you lower the if you raise the free throw bit using cap breakers. One of the best aspects of this build is the playmaking on a center. So having 84 pass hack is going to give you gold versatile visionary, gold dimer. You can also spend cap breakers on this to get up to break starter and bailout on your pass accuracy. It's very easy to do that, and the ball handle on the build is a 65. I just have it at a 65 because it only takes 2 cap breakers to max you out to a 74 from this 65 ball handle. So the fact that you can do that, you're going to be able to get up to gold strong handle. You're going to get up to bronze handles for days. You're not going to be able to get ankle assassin, but you're going to have your silver and pluckable, bronze handles for days, and gold strong handle on the build. Perfectly fine for Alp. He was running a bit of point guard last night when I was watching him, so you can definitely run the floor on this build and make the passes that you need to make. It's going to be a great center passing build. It's a triple-double threat for sure. 62 speed with ball is just maxed out speed with ball. There's no point in throwing attributes on anything else when you have it at 60 speed with ball. So throwing it up to 62 will just max the attribute out and make it easy for you to use. 74 interior defense is just to make sure we get the bronze post move lockdown. 71 perimeter defense is to make sure that we get the bronze challenger. And 60 steal is just bronze interceptor, and 75 block. There's not really anything specific about 75 block. I think attributes in 2K always scale in terms of 5. Getting your block up to a 75 versus a 74, which doesn't change any badges, is definitely going to be a little bit valuable because it'll give you some better animations on the build. You're going to get bronze paint patrol or bronze high flying denier. You can use cap breakers to get up to 78 block and get silver high flying denier, but on this build, Alp is not known for his defense. He's okay in the paint and he's a physical defender, but he's just not known as a great defender. So I didn't really want to spend a bunch of attributes on defense on this build because Alp is so much better at other options of the game. The one thing I did want to make sure I did on this build is maxing out offensive rebound. So you're going to have a 92 offensive rebound, because I don't know if you guys know anything about the Rockets last year and even last night when I was watching them. When they have Steven Adams and Alperen Sengun on the court, they are grabbing every single offensive rebound, it feels like. Anytime they miss a shot, it feels like the Rockets are going to be able to get the rebound. We're going to make sure we have the 92 offensive rebound to get you gold box out beast and gold rebound chaser with an offensive rebound. You're going to make sure the defense is still at an 80 to give you a solid rating. You're still going to be able to grab rebounds, especially having gold rebound chaser and gold box out beast. You're going to be able to grab defensive rebounds, but offensive rebounds are going to be insane on this build. 73 speed and 64 agility are just maxed out attributes. Want to make sure you always put these as high as you can on whatever build you make. 75 strength, like I said earlier, is to get the gold physical finisher. You're going to get a bunch of bronze strength badges. You can use cap breakers on your strength in the future as well to upgrade that more, but Alp obviously is a really strong player, but strength, like I said earlier, is an expensive attribute that is kind of more expensive than what the other options you can get for it. So I didn't increase it more than a 75. 75 should be more than enough for you. You're going to be able to get gold strong handle with the cap breakers, and you're going to make sure you have the bronze immovable enforcer, bronze brick wall, bronze post lockdown, and bronze post powerhouse. So you're going to have 2 gold badges, 4 bronze badges tied to your strength. It's going to be very, very solid on the build. 77 vertical is just to make sure you get the gold pogo stick. Pogo stick is a very important attribute this year on center builds, and you want to make sure you have it at 77 at the minimum on your center builds, I say. So looking at all the attributes on the build, I have already seen the comparisons, and they're pretty good. It's exactly the type of player that I wanted to make. Domantas Sabonis, Nikola Jokic, and Alperen Sengun post-scoring stretch crasher. So obviously you can see here the win weakness on the build is a weak interior defender, has 4 different strengths tied to passing and post scoring. So obviously that is a perfect Alp build. He's not a great defender. He's insane on offense. He's an absolute menace. So we're going to hit advance. We're going to do the Legend Rebirth. I'm going to show you guys the cap breakers on this build and the potential that you're going to want to do. Like I did mention earlier, you are going to want to do your shooting build specialization. So make sure you choose shooting on this build, and I'm going to show you where to throw the cap breakers right away. So as you can see here, I was not lying. You use 1 cap breaker from your shooting on your 3-pointer, it goes up to 87, and you only need to use 4 on your mid-range shot to get it up to a 90. So you're going to have 5 cap breakers used on shooting total to get up to a 90 mid-range shot, and 2 of them are going to be your build specialization cap breakers. So you've only used 3 of your real cap breakers left. If you're like me and you have 8 cap breakers total, you're going to have 5 cap breakers remaining. What I would recommend throwing your cap breakers on, throw 2 cap breakers on your ball handle. Make sure this gets up to a 74. It's one of the most important attributes on the build for sure. And then from there, you can really throw in whatever you want. So you're going to have 3 cap breakers left. If you're like me, you can throw it on close shot. You can throw it on driving layup to get up to a gold layup mixmaster. You can throw it on your post control to get up to a 93 post control or a 95 eventually in the future. You can throw some on driving dunk. The maximum you can unfortunately get to on driving dunk is actually an 82 rating, so it's not really in a bunch. There's not really a bunch of cap breaker potential in terms of your finishing. You can also throw some on strength and vertical. There's not really a bunch of cap breaker potential there. This build is kind of made not around cap breakers. It's just made around being a great build to represent Alperen Sengun. And the build also is represented by Jokic and Sabonis, which is perfect. Those 3 players are the European centers. They all have very similar playstyles in terms of being bigs that can pass and score really, really well in the post. So I'm glad we got this build comparison. I'm going to show you guys the face scan in a separate video. I'm going to link that in the end screen here. So make sure if you do need the face scan, watch that video. And that is going to wrap it up for this video here today. Thank you guys for watching. I'm signing off for now. See you in the next one.